Hi. First of all, I want to thank you for all the tapes that I've been listening to, and this year when I was doing my list of creating for what I wanted in the future, it was more than just a laundry list of things. It was really coming from a place of what would really genuinely make me happy. And so I want to thank you for that. So
some things can make you happy, but
yeah.
there's so much more.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my question is, I'm flowing. I'm into all of that, creating, and some wonderful opportunities have been coming my way, and I'm getting so close to manifesting things that I know in my heart are going to happen. And my question has to do with, I get thrown sometimes back to a place of powerlessness. It's like sometimes I give my power away. For example, I have a writing partner who can't make a move unless the moon is not void or the astrological signs are proper or her psychic doesn't tell. So I'm in another mindset of I can create and co-create with the universe, and she's in another mindset. So what happens is when there's a block thrown at me of not being able to, for example, if we both know people that can help us and she won't take those opportunities because she's afraid to or is blocked from doing so, then I go straight to what's the point? I'm doing all this work, I'm overcompensating, I'm doing all these things, doing them all right, I'm feeling great, and then it just throws me in a spin. And I know it's because I'm giving up my power, in a sense.
Well, you've said a number of things to us, and we want to reflect some of them back to you, because we think as you listen back to what you've been saying, you're going to find some reason for the contradictory energy.
Okay.
You talk about a block being thrown at you, and yet you know that there's no one throwing blocks in your way, that if there is a block, it is of your own creation. And that's the interesting thing about co-creating with someone else. It's so natural to give them the credit for the block.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, we think that's the best part about relationships for most of you. It gives you a scapegoat to explain, but it doesn't serve you very well. And that's what you mean when you say I'm giving my power away, because I'm giving her credit for what is working or what isn't working, which sort of makes you a non-issue in all of it, which doesn't feel very good either.
Right.
But you started out very clearly and very interestingly by saying to us something that we loved hearing, which is you have come to this place where you are realizing that creation is not just about having a laundry list of things that you're trying to complete, and that you are finding yourself very often understanding that life is about living in the moment. It's about how you feel.
Right.
And we were all just taking that in and drinking that in and loving the feeling of that, and then you turned right around and said that there were some things not manifesting. Mm-hmm. That were giving you a little bit of grief. And we say that's the opposite of the earlier statement, because when you really get to this place that you are enjoying the unfolding, then you're not taking score about how much is unfolded and how much isn't unfolding, or how much hasn't unfolded. Instead, you're in this place where you are trusting that it is unfolding, and you are enjoying the process of it unfolding. We would so much like you to get into the spirit of the sculptor who has his hands in the clay, who is really enjoying where it is right now. And while we will agree that he is working toward the ending place, and he might even enjoy the presentation of the finished product, that his greatest joy is in the process of the molding and the becoming. And yet, for those who do not actually physically have their hands in clay, most of you want to create something because you want to fast forward to the end result. And we want you to realize that there is no end. There is no end. And if you could stop and start savoring the process where you are, then you might begin to enjoy the contrast that's showing itself to you and the clearer ideas that are being born within you. And you will revel in the clearer idea rather than feel uncomfortable that it feels like a little bit of a stumbling block.
Right.
You would revel in the idea of stronger desire being born within you that may not have been there in this clear, swift way if it had not been for the contradiction in the desire or the willingness of your partner. There's so much about these interplays that are serving you, that if you could relax and stop feeling competition with who knows what, competition with each other, competition with some image that you have of yourself, competition with some saint that someone set up as being the model that you're supposed to model yourself after. In other words, there isn't anything that you should be doing or any place that you should be. There isn't any accomplishment that should already be done. Everything that exists in this universe is for your devouring and enjoyment now. And why do you, and not just you, but so many of you, refuse to enjoy your now devouring for the reason of something not being completed? And we try to soothe that by saying to you, you never get it done. So it's time to stop being upset about what's not done. Because we know, and you know it too on some level, that as soon as you get over there, a whole new world's going to open up that you're going to be reaching for too. And then when you get over there, a whole other world's going to open up. So why should there ever be any dissatisfaction about where I stand? And we will tell you, there's only one reason ever for there to be any dissatisfaction about where you stand, and it's the choice, the choosing of, the revving up, the amplifying of something that feels like resistance when you're doing it. Let's look at the big picture. So here I stand in my physical form, and I'm wonderful as I stand. I'm perfect. I'm blessed. I'm enough. I'm worthy. It's good where I stand. But I can't stand still because that's not who I am. I'm good, but I'm not complete. So the question is, am I all right with my incompletion, which means adventurous, anticipating, eager? Or am I not all right with my incompleteness, which means unworthy, frustrated, unhappy? Well, we want you to be all right with your incompleteness because you're always going to be incomplete. Right. So when you start saying, okay, I get it, I'm all right with my incompleteness, but there are things I want to do, we say, good, so far so good. I'm all right with my incompleteness, and there are things I want to do, and we say, yes, us too. And then you say, I'm all right with my incompletion, and there are some things I want to do, but shouldn't I be doing them faster? And we say, off the path a little bit. And you say, all right, I'm all right with my incompletion, and what might pleasure me now? We say, you're on the path. You say, I'm all right with my incompletion, and ideas are flowing to me. Well, you're on the path. I'm all right with my incompletion, and I want to work with this person and this person and this person. I'm having fun, and this idea feels good. We say, you're on the path. And then you say, but that person does not want to go exactly the way that I want to go, and that doesn't feel good. And we say, Fortunately, emotions are not loud like that. Or there would be a sort of cacophony happening all around. But you get the sense of it. In other words, you're not ever going to get it done. And if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would stop giving anyone credit for something working or credit for something not working for you. Because there's nothing between you and your letting it in but you. We think that the reason that so many look for reasons to explain why things aren't going better is because they think things should be going better and they think they need some explanation. And we're wanting you to realize that every explanation about why things aren't going better amplifies, escalates the very thing that is in the way. So what you're wanting to do is to begin developing dialogues, and you have plenty of them, about how well things are going, about how much is working, about how much fun it is. And just literally choke on those other words. Don't allow yourself to give anybody else the credit or the blame. Credit is a wonderful thing. When you are appreciating someone, it lines you right up. When you are blaming someone, it shuts you right down. And it doesn't matter if that someone is someone else or you. In other words, you can feel when you're open and you can feel when you're not. And so we're wanting to bring this whole idea of creation into a place where you can get your thoughts around it that goes like this. The creation has already been made. You dreamed it in your imagination. You launched it in part even before you were born, and you added to it every positive or negative situation that you've been in all along your way. The idea of who you are and where you are going and what you are wanting has been well received a long time ago, and all that is working on it and lining up circumstances and events. The only question is, why aren't you letting it unfold so that it can please you in your now? And you say, because I'm worried about where it is. And we say, don't worry about where it is. That's not your job. And you say, well, I'm worried about who will bring it. And we say, don't worry about who will bring it. That's not your job. And you say, well, I thought I was a deliberate creator. Don't I get to choose anything? And we say, you get to choose everything. You get to choose your every thought. But what creation is in the moment choosing a thought that allows what I've been asking for to flow, you see. We think that most of you have been confused about what creating is. You think, oh, I got to stand here, I got to look far into the future, I got to understand all the economic and cultural reasons, I got to understand every other person that will dovetail with it, and I've got to make the right decisions at the right time. And we say, that's not your job. Law of attraction will manage all of that. Law of attraction already knows who you are and what you've been asking for, and things are lined up. They're going to surprise and delight you every step along the way. All you got to do is get in sync with the flow. All you got to do is feel good now. You say, but I don't have any reason to feel good. And we say, then make one up. You say, but I have reason not to feel good. We say, then ignore it. We say, practice reasons to feel good. Practice being in this place of allowing the good stuff that wants in. You just got to relax and let it in. You don't have to earn or work hard for health. You'd all be living health unless you were doing something that doesn't let it in. You don't have to work hard for money. Money wants you. Abundance wants you. You've been asking for it. The universe has been yielding it. All you got to do is stop complaining. Stop noticing what's going wrong. Stop listening to the news. Stop talking to people that complain. Stop reiterating things that haven't worked. Stop talking about being stuck. Stop all that stuff. Now, we were doing all of it while we're telling you to stop it, but you just got to stop that stuff that does not feel good and start loving and humming and skipping and listening and soothing and meditating and basking and soaking in the hot tub and laying on the beach and eating where you like to eat and loving and complimenting and basking and looking for reasons to feel good and remembering good times and looking through the photo album and pulling out pictures that feel good to you and sticking them in places where you'll see them really often and reading your love letters and writing love letters and remember people who loved you and remembering compliments and looking for reasons to feel good and petting your cat and looking at flowers and walking in gardens and looking at the sky and looking at the sunset and basking over the rainbows, and then repeat all of that over and over and over and over and over. There's not one blasted thing for any of you to do but get happy now. That's it. Find a reason to be happy. And oh, what a spot you live in to be happy. There is so much good stuff around you. So much. Thank you. So you say, so I should just keep talking about what I want even if it upsets me? And we say, certainly not. Nothing is more important than that you feel good. You say, well, Abraham, what are you saying? It seems like I'm hearing two different things from you. Do I think about what I want? Yes. What if when I think about what I want, it doesn't feel good? Then don't do it. Well, I don't get it. How do I know what's the right thing to do? Would you please write a book that says, do these things and don't do these things? And we say, even better. You have guidance within you that is letting you know where your vibration is relative to everything. And if you are paying attention to the way you feel, and nothing is more important than that you feel good, then you will know how far to go on which thoughts. You can tell which thoughts ring your bells, which thoughts give you life, which thoughts shut you down. You can tell. The one thing you got to get over, as humans, you have come to the place, many of you, where you think it is okay to think about something that really feels bad as long as it's true. And we are wanting you to know that there are things that are true that you don't want. And there are many things that are true that you do want. But the criteria that you're reaching for, if you're reaching for the art of allowing, if you're reaching for vibrational compliance with who you are, if you're reaching for God force flowing through you, if you're reaching for clarity and abundance and well-being of all manner, then what you're reaching for is feeling good. End of subject. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. We don't care how true it is. It's not for you if it doesn't feel good.